Alright, let me level with you before we get into anything. I have had 3 cups of coffee that tasted like burnt regret. My phone is at 12%, and I'm pretty sure my neighbor is using a jackhammer on something that definitely does not need a jackhammer. So if I seem slightly unhinged today, just know that the universe is testing me in ways I did not consent to. Takes a breath. I'm sure some of you saw the images dropping late last night, or maybe you scrolled past the thumbnail and went, hold on, is that Invincible or is that a live action movie I somehow missed? We are talking about the new ultimate realistic remaster that's been making the rounds. Somebody took the animated characters from Amazon's Invincible. You know the show, the one where every episode makes you question your will to live, and transform them into what looks like photorealism. Now here's the thing I need to be upfront about right now. The image descriptions you're seeing, the side-by-side comparisons, the realistic versions of Anissa, Mr. Liu, Monster Girl, all of them, those are AI generated. I'm not hiding that. I'm not pretending I had a team of VFX artists in my basement. But here's why I'm making this video anyway. It looks good, like genuinely impressive, and that's exactly why I wanted to create content around it. Because when AI can produce something that makes you stop scrolling and say, wait, that's actually cool, that's worth talking about, we are going to break it down for you exactly what happened here, character by character, and then we'll talk about what the actual direct impact on how we feel about animation and AI going forward is. It's not apocalyptic, but it's also not nothing. But first, if you could kindly grab the subscribe button seriously. It helps more than you know, and then we are going to dive straight into the nightmare fuel that is realistic Monster Girl. Alright, so we're reporting this off of the side-by-side comparison that's been circulating. It's AI generated content, but as the results themselves show, that doesn't automatically mean it's bad. In fact, some of these are genuinely striking. Let me walk you through the highlights, because this is where it gets interesting. Anissa original animation has her with crossed arms, stern look, very don't test me. The AI generated remaster gives her individual hair strands in that short pixie cut. You can see the weave of her suit, and here's my immediate thought. She looks less like a cartoon and more like someone you'd actually be afraid to meet in a parking garage. That's not a criticism. That's just me admitting the AI understood the assignment. Mr. Liu, this is where the uncanny valley starts creeping in. The remaster emphasizes age-weathered skin. You can see the mechanical details of his cybernetic jaw. The metallic plates look brushed and industrial, and again technically impressive. But the original had this balance where Liu felt like a man who happened to have tech in his face. This version feels like a machine wearing a man's skin. AI didn't quite nail the soul of it, but the texture, flawless, great wall, heavy muscular build, traditional red and tan attire. The AI generated version makes his clothing look like thick durable cotton or wool. You can practically feel the weight of the fabric. That's impressive for something that came out of a prompt. Shapesmith, this one genuinely startled me. The 2D version looks like a cartoon character. The AI remaster looks like a live action actor in a high-budget superhero film. The blue mask has a matte texture. The orange and blue suit shows realistic padding and stitching. And I'm sitting here thinking, this is what the actual live-action Invincible movie would look like if someone threw $200 million at it. Except this cost basically nothing to generate. Monster Girl, both forms. Human version gets subtle freckles, soft texture on her teal sweater. Fine, lovely. The monster version, thick leathery hide, visible veins, scars, a heavy brow. This thing looks biologically plausible, and that's where my brain started short-circuiting, because the AI looked at Monster Girl and said, got it, I'll make it look like a real creature that could actually exist. And it worked. Robot, copper-toned metallic chassis with realistic oxidation, scratches, light glinting off polished surfaces. The green eyes glow with a soft internal LED effect. Gorgeous work. The AI clearly understands lighting in a way that some human artists don't. Nolan's parents. The Viltrumite uniforms look like high-performance synthetic fiber. Stern, authoritative facial structures. It all tracks. Machine head, chrome-domed cyborg mob boss. The AI-generated remaster makes his head highly reflective, showing a distorted environment. His tan suit and pink tie have the crisp look of high-end tailoring. This one actually works perfectly for me. Machine head should look unsettling, and the AI delivered. Reimagined, and here we are, the money shot. The AI-generated remaster shows undead cyborg soldiers with pallid, decaying skin stretched over rusted iron and brass machinery, glowing red ocular sensors piercing through a dark industrial background. Okay, the way that I look at it, and being a superfan before anything else, this really has me thinking. Not necessarily worried, but thinking, because look, I told you upfront this was AI generated. I'm not hiding the ball. And honestly, it looks good. That's why I'm making content about it. Because when something looks this polished and it came from a prompt and not a $50 million animation budget, that's worth paying attention to. But here's what keeps me up at night. When you make Invincible look like this, when you give every character pores and fabric weave and visible veins, you lose the elasticity elasticity of the original. You lose the ability to snap from a goofy conversation about homework to a man being literally ripped in half without tonal whiplash. And these are the architects who built the visual language of Invincible, the original character designers, the texture artists at Amazon, the human beings who made intentional choices about color, shape, and expression. You can't just recreate that experience overnight with an AI prompt, even if the AI makes it look good. Here's my analogy because you know I have one. Think about a cover band that can play every note perfectly, technically flawless, but when you close your eyes you know it's not the real thing. Not because the notes are wrong, because the feel is different, the soul is different. That's where AI is right now. It can generate the notes, it can generate the textures, but the soul, that's still a human thing, and that's why I'm not panicking, I'm just paying attention. And look, I want to be really clear about something. I'm not here to bash AI. I'm not here to pretend I didn't use it. I'm creating content around these images because they look good. That's the whole point. When the tool produces something that makes you stop and say, whoa, that's worth a conversation, but the actual human artist, the ones who designed these characters from scratch, they're not replaceable. Not because AI can't generate similar images, but because intention matters. A prompt is not a vision. A texture map is not a storytelling choice. These are the architects, the original artists who built the visual language of the show. You can't just replace that with algorithms. That's not how art works. That's not how soul works. Alright, I want to hear from you. Drop in the comments. Is the AI generated realistic remaster cool? Or is it cursed? And does knowing it's AI change how you feel about it? Be honest, I can take it. Don't forget to hit that notification bell.